And I was like, you don't know me. I'm a whole mother at 12. I'm a whole mother of 3 at 12. It's frustrating, but it's also a blessing in disguise because once people find out that you're a kind person or you're a nice person, they're gonna be like, okay, time to see what I can get, see what I can get, see what I can get before I try to dip. See what I can get before I try to dip. And if you know that I'ma leave with a okay. But I want to talk about an uncomfortable truth that I have come to realize about being a young Black woman. And it's something that is like so scary to me thinking about because people have basically been intimidated by me when I was a child. Like, one of my first memories of feeling like an adult was really intimidated by me was when I was on this camping trip and all of the parents were sitting outside at picnic tables talking about parenting and and motherhood and life. And I like to just sit back in adult conversation I appreciate when you can go through a lesson and tell me about what you learned so that I don't have to learn that. So I've always been an individual that's like, if I have to choose between hanging out with the kids at the family reunion versus hanging out with the adults, like I'm gonna want to hang out with the adults. So I'm hanging out with the adults and they're all talking about life. And basically, I think I added my perspective to the conversation, and the person kind of made a remark like, we need to kick all of the kids out of here so we can really talk. And it's like, why? I was like 12 or 13 at the time, and the woman was like in her mid 40s. And I was like, why would you say you need to kick out the kids? Because I added my perspective to the conversation. She made a rebuttal, and then my comeback to that rebuttal had her in her feelings. So then she was like, we need to get the kids out of here. And then she was like, and one of my children can teach you how to be a homemaker and teach you how to cook and clean. And I was like, you don't know me. I'm a whole mother at 12. I'm a whole mother of 3 at 12. When I don't have a choice, when it's not, hey, Christian, can you watch your siblings tonight? It's, we going out? You're in charge? I have 3 daughters. So for the individual to like kind of insinuate that they're like, basically like I'm a better mother to my child than potentially your mother is because I instill in them homemaking, wifely duty types of things. And it's like, that's so crazy that you say that, because you're bragging about how you taught your children to do what they do, but I was really never taught anything that I do. I kind of have adapted my own ways of doing things, and nobody, with the exception of the dishes, the dishes was always an interesting spot. It was an interesting spot for me because I didn't want to do that chore, so I would rush through it. Like, okay, I wash the dishes, they're done. But it's just like I know what I'm doing, you know. I feel like for me to have gotten that reaction from a woman in their mid 40s when I was 12, that should have prepared me for the continuous like intimidation, accusations that I continue to receive. And it's just kind of shocking to me because I know I have RBF, but I'm so nice. Like, I'm literally so nice to the point where at several times in my life I have had to say, Christian, it's time to get off the floor and stop being a doormat, because your niceness is being mistaken for stupidity. And now people are playing with you like they got the PS5 controller. And what we're not gonna have is that. So that's an example of when I was 12. I'm gonna give an example from very, very, very recent this month. So this one is juicy. And it's been really difficult to keep this in because every time something juicy happens, well, not every time, but like, because little side note, I'm gonna try to remember where I left off with my ADD brain, but I'm telling you right now, it's gonna, if it goes somewhere else, that's where it goes. But I feel like a lot of people think that I overshare on the internet. And from my perspective, I share like 5% of what's actually going on, because I tell people like surface level information about what I have going on, and then I never really get to that point where the 100% truth of the scenario gets to that person, because there are like relationship barriers and like trust gets lost, and then I don't end up getting to tell anybody like the real true story because I don't trust anybody. So I think it's really crazy when people are like, oh, you know, Christian, she's just like, I can't believe, you know, she would, you know, embarrass herself like that, or tell that information, like, or I would have kept that private, or nobody could have paid me to say that, or stuff like that. But the way I feel about it, majority, like I say 99.2% of the stuff that happens to me that causes me the most emotional distress is 100% out of my control. So why would I feel like I need to sit here and fake like everything is okay when I'm getting treated poorly? And then it gets to the point where I realize that my poor boundaries are causing people in my life to treat me any kind of way. So I start tightening up on my boundaries. And that tiny little circle, ooh, that was cute. But my tiny little circle of friends goes to none because I'm getting strict on my boundaries and talking about what I'm experiencing. And like I said, I'm not giving like details right now. Like, I'm going very surface level, and I don't know, some people just can't really grasp the concept of understanding that when other people share their stories, they're helping out somebody else that feels like they're the only person going through it. And it was the other people's stories that I look up when I'm going through stressful situations that I'd be like, oh, okay, so other people have experienced this, and they're writing about it, you know? But I did a good job with my ADD brain, you know. I think I'm on track. So let me tell y'all about this story. So I was at work and we were in training. And this woman came to facilitate the training. And the training was about LGBTQIA plus individuals and how to continue to stay sensitive to pronouns and all of that fancy jazz. So we were talking about gender identity, we were talking about attraction, we were talking about all kinds of things. And me being an individual who has gone from being so deathly afraid of public speaking to being person who is getting paid public speaking gigs, I understand how it feels to feel like the group isn't participating. And after you spent hours on your slides, hours creating a script, hours memorizing which slide is coming next, making it look cute in PowerPoint, all that stuff. You get to your event, you have all these engaging questions, and when you ask, does anybody have any questions? Nobody's raising their hand. They're not making eye contact with you because they don't want you to pick them. They're looking all around. I'm like, okay, well, I'll volunteer and I'll be the one to ask questions because I have questions on the topic and nobody really seems to answer my question. And when I have questions that I feel like aren't being answered to my expectations, I will start looking at like scholarly articles. I will start researching like I'm about to submit my writing into a journalism department. So basically, I raised my hand, I asked a question. She kind of shut it down and was like, that's a question that's really private for the individuals who go through it. And hold on, let me just say what I said. So on the radio, I heard that a lot of people that transition from one, F to M or M to F, that they're reversing their transition. And I wanted to know, like, do you know anything about that? So I asked that question and she was like, yeah, like that question is really private. Like they don't know. They pretty much do it because of pressure, like societal and like interpersonal family pressure or whatever. So that's really, she kept saying that's really, basically she was insinuating like for you to even ask that question is disrespectful because like, I don't think if you're not a trans person, I don't need to hear you speaking for the group, because I feel like you're not a representative. But I don't know. Say all that to say, we get too closer to the end of the presentation, and I'm just noticing that ever since I asked my initial question, she's been avoiding, like at the beginning of the presentation, she was making a lot of eye contact with me. And then as the presentation continued, I noticed she was making less and less eye contact with me. And I decided to ask another question because once again, it was dry in there. So I was like, okay, let me ask a question. The presenter introduced a unicorn to the group, and the unicorn was about gender expression, basically. And if you don't know, well, nobody really knows because I submitted my thesis proposal and y'all did not see that. But part of my thesis for my degree was about gender identity and how my gender identity influences my art, basically. And so I always wanted to know, like, what is the difference between being attracted with the ED versus attractive? Because me, and I don't know if I've like changed my views on wanting to label myself as demisexual, because I just kind of feel like the fact that the people that actually want to be in, platonic and romantic relationships with people that they emotionally connect to, and they had to make that a whole group, is crazy, because that really puts a lot into perspective regarding why people are complaining about the dating scene. Because why would you, I don't know, but just me, like, with me, I've always wanted to know, like, what's the difference between attracted and attractive? Because I can acknowledge, if this is my go-to example, because let me pick somebody else, because I like Kofi. But let's say if let me see another attractive. See, this is how I'm not attracted to. I don't even have like a favorite male celebrity crush or anything. It's really just Kofi. I think he's so cute, but I don't know. Let me think of a cute celebrity. A cute celebrity? Who's cute? Who's a cute celebrity? I don't know. I can't even think of a celebrity I'm attracted to right now. But Tupac, duh. No, but that's my husband. I can't use him. So if I see an attractive person walking by, and all of, let's say, the people in the group with me are like gawking at this person, they're drooling, they're like, oh my gosh, I have to get their social media, they're so fine. And I go over and I look at the person, I'll be like, okay, they're cute. All right, so can we get some ice cream, or do you guys want Johnny Rockets? Because I'm feeling like a burger. Are you? That's what happens when I see people that are like what society deems as like so fine, like 6'2", brown skin, muscles, haircut fresh, legs moisturized. Yeah, so get back to it. I basically asked, like, how do you know the difference between being attracted to someone and then thinking somebody's attractive? Because for me, it's personally like, I can just acknowledge that a person is attractive, move on. After that, she says to me, that sounds like a personal question that you need to ask yourself. Excuse me? Are you insinuating that I'm gay? Because that's what I got from it. And I was offended because people misinterpret. First of all, I feel like if I didn't have some of the features I have, I could definitely pass as a boy. And when I was younger, I always had to correct people and say I'm a girl. So it was very offensive because I have short hair. I'm a Black woman. I dress pretty androgynous, a little tomboy, sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. That's when you're prettiest. I hope you don't take it. So I pretty much dress masculine sometimes. And I think that sometimes that gets misinterpreted as my sexuality. And no, that's my gender expression. So basically, I felt like she insinuated that I was gay, or didn't know I was gay and need to do some soul searching. And it was really offensive because I was like, if I actually was, that would basically be you outing me. Because she should have asked first, you know, and you can't ask that in a training talking about LGBTQIA plus people. You can't ask somebody. It's inappropriate. So she should have just kept her mouth shut, I feel like. So at the end of the presentation, when everything was over, she said, scan this QR code and give me some feedback. I want to know what you guys thought. Oh, you want to know what I think? Well, you about to know. So I literally filled out that survey while I was still in training, and I told the truth. And then it was like the next day or 2 days later, one of the staff members came to me and was like, yeah, we received some feedback from the trainer. And I'm not mocking the person's voice. I'm just like not trying to make it obvious who the person was. But they were like, yeah, we received some feedback from a trainer, and I just wanted to check in with you. I was like, I said everything I had to say in the survey. It was very offensive for you to sit here and say, I go to, law schools, not law schools. You said, I go to courtrooms and I defend people who are, representing themselves in these cases and blah, 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 blah. This is why I don't really care about. She kept saying expert, I'm an expert. Then when I asked the expert the question, you're intimidated by my question because I know what I'm talking about. And I'm tired. I'm so tired of it. I'm fed up and I'm sick. So I just wanted to share these stories with you guys because, like, I'm the most, in my opinion, approachable person that I know. Like, I can't say I have never, because there are people that they'll try to make it seem like I'm difficult because I won't be pushed around. But I don't have people often come to me and say, I didn't really like how you handled this. It was really immature of you. And if they are saying that, it's because you're on your 90th chance. So you don't really have room. Beggars can't be choosers. Beggars can't be choosers. So y'all know I can go on and on and on. And I don't want this video to be over 30 minutes, but like, it's just really annoying because I'm such a kind person. I'm such a good-hearted individual. And it's frustrating, but it's also a blessing in disguise, because once people find out that you're a kind person or you're a nice person, they're going to be like, okay, time to see what I can get before I try to dip. See what I can get before I try to dip. And if you know that I'ma leave with it. Okay. But yeah. So I just want to share that with you guys. And if you resonate, definitely don't forget to tell me what point you resonated the most with. And I'll see y'all in the next video.